Perfect. Nice. Guys, it's a pleasure to have all of us here. My name is Eric Nyoiza. I'm a cloud and DevOps engineer. I'm also the CIO of SolarVis Tech. I've been teaching for the past close to 3 years now. Cloud and DevOps trainer. And on the call, we have our project lead, Prof. Emmanuel Atanga. Prof, it's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much, Eric.
It's a pleasure to have you. Prof, I've also been with us for quite a long time now. Yeah, he's one of the best we have actually when it comes to AWS, cloud and DevOps projects. He's a pro. He's a pro in that. Also, to let you guys know that this session that we're going to have, like you've all seen, is by SolarVis Technologies Institute, and we offer training on cloud and DevOps. We also offer training on data science and machine learning, cybersecurity, and also digital marketing. So guys, if you're here, feel free. I want to let you know that last year, we didn't have these sessions. We didn't have these sessions last year because of our tight schedule. But this year, moving forward, we are going to be having these free sessions every 2 weeks, right? Yes, every 2 weeks, we are going to having projects for you guys. Every 2 weeks, just be expecting a project from us. It's going to be free, and you can always check our platforms to sign up once it's shared. And you can also share it with your friends, share with your loved ones, with anybody who wants to build and level up their profile, right? So these sessions are going to be coming up frequently. So please stay tuned to these sessions and build your profile, get yourself job ready, and let's continue to spread the word in the cloud, right? I think we already introduced ourselves at the beginning. There are people here from Angola, people from Nigeria, mostly also from US, people from Ghana, where I am currently, and then we have Prof. Emmanuel there in Cameroon, right? So like you've all seen, in today's session, we're talking about, we're practically deploying Jira on AWS, right? This is purely infrastructure provisioning. It's not only infrastructure provisioning, but it's enterprise, right? Enterprise in the sense that this is what happens in the work environment. This is purely what you experience in the work environment. It's not test environment, right? Or it's not like a mini scale kind of a project. This is a purely enterprise project. And what you're going to learn here or hear from this session is what happens within the work environment in companies, right? And the context of this is that we are not just only deploying it, we are going to ensure that when that application is deployed on our instances, it's highly secured. Not only secured, but it's highly secured through the Bastion host, right? Through the Bastion host. And then we'll deploy it using Docker, and then the entire process will be automated with Ansible. So, Prof. Emmanuel, I think you can throw more light
Eric,
to explain and add more juice to what I've said.
Yeah, for sure. I think I want to welcome everybody on this first project on SolarVis Technology. But before I comment, I would like to give the floor to the biggest CTO. They have Kevin today on the call. Can you please come on and give us some, usually have this kind of good advice. You're a pro when it comes to AWS. Yeah, guy. Kevin, please show your face. Kevin, can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can. Okay. I'd planned to, first of all, Hello.
Yeah, we
Yes,
can
Am I
hear you.
audible?
hear you. We can hear you.
Planning to, let me see, can I do my video? Okay. I was planning to just join in and follow up. And I'm very happy because I can tell you for sure that these workshops are the one that made me join Solavis Tech. And please take them as seriously as you can. And yeah, nothing else. I was actually wanting to just join and be on the background, but you put me on the spot. But I'll be following up on what is going on. I just stepped outside. Happy to have you, Prof. and Eric. Yeah, I thought I would survive, but you you
No way.
found me.
Okay.
Okay,
Let me
all the best. You have my blessings. Okay, thank you so much, Prof. Ready to learn from you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kevin. I think you and I, we are delighted to always tell engineers that we join Solavis Tech to do this kind of workshop. I never knew one day I would be the one running this stuff and become a team lead of Solavis Tech. We are handling issues like this. Yeah, so I met Eric. Okay, today we intended to work on a project. That project is a real life company, great project. But guys, I think we'll do the first part of it. The first part of that project, we'll do it today. The second part of the project, I think we'll do in the coming weeks ahead because I don't know if any of you have tried doing like uploading some packages on AWS these days, like I think yesterday and today. There is some sort of upgrade with the server, so some packages cannot be downloaded or cannot be installed with relative ease. So for that, we're just like, can we do this stuff today? Yeah, but unfortunately, deploying the application will be a little bit tedious on what I have planned to do. So we'll look at the first part of it. The first part of it is an authentication method. So basically, sometimes we have a lot of engineers that will come up from boot camps. You know, they have studied, they have the insight, they can run one or two projects because their hands were dirty with those projects. But then when they get employed or when they're hired by companies, connecting or getting to real work environment sometimes is very difficult. Like, yeah, is it with they did not teach us this kind of stuff? So today, the first part of it will be like a sort of authentication where I don't think anyone on this call can deploy his or herself to me that you cannot create an IAM rule when it comes to AWS. So that's the security part. That's one of the most when it comes to security on AWS, IAM rule is part of that stuff. So the part of it, part of it will create an IAM rule with admin access. So the IAM user that will be created will be like a DevOps engineer, let's say a DevOps engineer or a solution architect who knows how to go about stuff on AWS very well. So when that user is created, what will happen is the user will create a work environment, okay, an infrastructure where you will deploy a bastion host. A bastion host is a sort of gateway because in real time, if you have been deploying applications with public IP, deploying servers with public IP addresses and deploying applications on them, accessing via the IP address in real companies, that's not how it happens, right? We use DNS resolution. So most of the architectural form of it, you will not find instances with public IP address. So when it comes to security on AWS, I think it is a shared responsibility. So AWS secure what they have given to you, and you secure your own part, you secure what you are bringing on the table. So that's how it functions. And creating instances with public IP address when it comes to the build environment is very risky for attack. So we'll see how usually a company will have just one instance, which is known as the bastion host instance. That bastion host is like a gateway. So that is what will permit you to log into your work environment. If you are a developer, maybe you are working at back end. So let me put it back end. So for you to get to the back end, every back end instance do not or are being launched in private subnet and they don't have public IP addresses. So we'll see how to configure the environment where you will be given that authentication, you will be given that privilege, that permission to get into it and now connect to the backend instances and start to deploy your application. So basically today, guys, we're supposed to run and deploy a company-grade application, but that is not our fault, okay? Normally, sometimes the cloud providers also, because of upgrades, sometimes they also have a downtime, network downtime when it comes to their regional locations. So we've tried that stuff. I think they have some issue. So we'll push the deployment part of it to our next session. So today we'll look at the connectivity, the authentication part of it, how we usually log and get to backend instances. So that wouldn't take us long. Yeah. So it wouldn't take us long. Let me share my screen and we kick start. Okay. If you wish to do the hands-on with me, I think the only part of it, the only thing that you do is you give me your name. So when I create that platform, I will assign you, I will add you as a user in the system, assign a password for you so that you can successfully connect to that platform and see how it works in real time. So thank you guys very much. Prof, let me share my screen. Grant me access, please. It's an interactive session, so you can raise your hand if you have any question and you ask, okay, or you leave your question in the chat box. So Prof. Eli will give you room. There will be time where we'll take all the questions. Thank you, guys. Prof, can I share?
Yes, you can share. You can share.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you. So we have, let me first of all log into AWS. So what has happened behind the scene is Prof. Eric is an admin, is a solution architect. Prof. Eric has created a manual as a user in AWS and granted IAM rule. Okay, administrative IAM rule to Emmanuel. So let me log onto my AWS. So this is the company's AWS account. I've been granted some access to connect to this account using the identity and access management rule.
Prof. Emmanuel. Prof. Emmanuel.
Yes, please.
Please, can you, okay,
yes,
just a
please.
second. Just to make it a little bit clear, right? Just for a few seconds, if we can just make a sketch, right? Just have a sketch. At least if we're dealing with an image, like let's say an image of what we are going to do, I think it's going to make, so that it can make more sense. We can just sketch. Is that possible? If not, I can just do that from my end.
Okay, yes, please do that. Do that at your end. I think I've logged in. I was supposed to sign out and log back in as I am user. Okay. So we'll be explaining a lot of stuff while we do the hands-on.
Just a second. Let me get the whiteboard. Okay. Okay, you can see my screen, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, great. All right, guys, just to, so that you have at the back of your mind, right, the architecture of what we're doing or what we're going to do. So we've talked about the Bastion host, right, which is like a jump server. Jump, just from the word jump, like somebody can use it to jump into, to get into the backend servers, right? So you can use that server like to get into the backend servers to access those applications. So we're going to have the Bastion host, let's say somewhere here, right? I'm not a good artist, please, so I'm just trying to sketch this. So just pardon me. So we'll make this the Bastion host. Please, I'm not a good listening to. So let me just say Bast here, and then you understand. So this is the Bastion host here, right? So now the team, let's say since Prof. Emmanuel is like the admin, and then we are the team members, right? And then these are our servers the backend servers where we have the applications deployed. They're going to be somewhere, let me say here. Our applications are down here.
So, Prof. Eric,
Our applications are here.
Yes. Prof. Eric, the build environment usually carries, we have the build environment and the deployment instances. So they are usually in the private subnet. So automatically the Bastion hub, since it is internet facing, it is in the public subnet. So I was just like trying to throw more light.
Exactly, yes.
The VPC concept. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly, you're right. Exactly, that's why I separated this. So you have the Bastion host, which is in the private subnet, I mean in the public subnet here, right? Like you said, this is the public subnet. This is public subnet. You can just say pub S. And then you have the backend servers here, which are in the private subnet. Which are in the private subnet. You just put it priv subnet. Right? So basically, we are going to have access to this Bastion host. We are going to have access to this Bastion host like a jump server. And then we'll use this Bastion host, to get into these backend servers here where the applications are running. Guys, so that's what you should have at the back of your mind. That's the image you have at the back of your mind. This is just to simplify it. I don't want to make it complicated. If there's any question, guys, please feel free to ask. Feel free to stop me, stop Prof. Emmanuel, and ask. We just want to make it as basic and simple as it should be.
Yeah, Prof. Eric, I think it's a very interactive session.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please, you can.
Yes, please.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, since we are dealing with a real-life environment, working environment, who controls the Bastion's host? Is it the DevOps engineer, or I'm like, who gives, because you said they have to give you an access and IAM role in order to use the BS servers to jump into the backend servers they can control from there. So who controls it? Who is it? The company? Is it a project manager, or you as a DevOps engineer? Are you the one in charge of that server? Who gives the access?
Okay.
I don't know if you are getting me.
Thank you very much, Aqua. I can hear you very well, please. It's okay. Thank you very much, Aqua. Right. Thank you for that question. Definitely, in large companies, we have an IAM, we have an AAR engineer, okay, an IAM engineer, an IAM engineer. Other companies, they will have solution architect, because for you to be an AWS solution architect, I think one of the most things that you study so deeply is security. And when we talk of security, we talk of IAM rule, IAM user, so you know how to create users and manage that rule. Equally, as a DevOps engineer, you have the right to know a cloud provider. So definitely, if you study cloud, then you have, excuse me, please. Definitely, if you study cloud, then I think you have an insight of that stuff. So it depends on who the company assigns to manage that stuff. Okay, if there is an IAM engineer, an IAM engineer is responsible for creating the user, and a solution architect or a DevOps engineer could be given the task to create the Bastion host. Okay, so but then when you are creating a Bastion host, every access, every door that you are opening is what the company will provide. So you don't do that on your own. Okay, so we have DevOps, we have solution architect, IAM engineers, we have DevOps engineers, site reliability engineers, build and release engineers. Okay, so any of them can do that stuff.
Yes, sir.
It depends on who the company decide that this is your task. Okay. You are supposed to be doing this. Okay, does that does that throw more light on your question, Akwanji?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
yeah,
thank you very much. So definitely what Prof. Eric just explained, this is just a little about the VPC concept. Okay, because the VPC is a very broad security when it comes to AWS. So the VPC will have public and private subnet, and definitely when you are deploying the public subnet or the private subnet, because you want to back up your resources, you want some backup, or you don't want that if your application fails, okay, it should give a sort of redundancy to customers. So we have different availability zones, we have different subnets in different regions, right? So, but for this purpose, we just want to demonstrate how if you are employed in a company and they are using Bastion host to get to their backend instances, then this is how it usually happens. Some companies also will give you, they have like some companies will give you access. They have a configuration access where you connect directly to their computers. Okay, they give you a workstation, and that workstation permits you to connect to their work environment, and you go about all the files that you have made. Because sometimes you get to companies, you are not the one creating this stuff, they have already been created, you are just there to manage them. Companies will employ you to come and solve problems, not to create problems. So that's why you must have this critical thinking ability of solving problems. But then you have to know how to figure it out. So thank you very much, Prof. Eric, for this demonstration. I think as we do the hands-on, you can still ask questions when it comes to AWS and DevOps, right? So we'll tackle the question. So, Prof, can I share, please?
Yes, you can share. You can share that.
So your screen is still on and you are the admin.
I have stopped sharing.
I can still see your screen.
Okay,
good, fine.
Great.
Now I can share. Okay. So I got into this AWS console, okay, by using it. Just automatically locked me into it because I've already logged into that stuff. If you look at it, I did not use a root account. I use an account that was created by an IAM engineer or the admin. So I was given some privileges so that I can manage this console. So for example, an IAM engineer created that stuff. He created me as an IAM user in the system. That's for best practice. That's how usually companies will usually do. They have given me the access. I've logged into the company account using my name that I was added onto. So what I'm about to do here, I was given a task to create a Bastion host, to create a jump saver, so that they can now add users onto it. To root that Bastion host, they can get to backend instances because backend instances are not internet facing. So let's kickstart. I think all of us on this call, we know how to do this stuff. So I'll go to EC2. I want to buy a computer from AWS. So they call it Elastic Compute Cloud, which is EC2. Okay. I'm passing my API call. I want my computer to be located in United States, Ohio. That should be US is 2. That's why I want my computer to be located. Okay, so let me launch. I want to launch a computer. I want to launch a Bastion host computer. Okay, I'll pass a name to it. So I will just call it Bastion host. Okay, so my operating system, my Amazon machine image, I will use Amazon Linux 2. This stuff 2023 has a lot of updates. But then Linux 2. Okay. I don't have much work to do. Instance type is the capacity of the computer that you are trying to buy. So you pass out, you give your own capacity. I just want 1 GB of memory computer. I don't have much work to do. So, but then for you to connect to this stuff, you need a username a public IP address, and a password, right? We are cutting a lot of stuff short when it comes to this stuff. As I was supposed to create a VPC. I believe all of us can create a VPC. I was supposed to create a VPC, and we launched our Bastion host in that VPC. So that's how it was supposed to happen. We launched our Bastion host in the VPC. All our instances will be secured in our virtual private cloud. The company owns the virtual private cloud. Okay. So, but then for the sake of this demo, I will use the default. It's the same strategy, but in real world, they don't use default VPCs. A company will create their own VPC. So for you to connect to a computer in the cloud, you need a name, you need a username, you need a public IP address, and you need a password. Password has been duplicated, okay? By default, when AWS is providing to me this computer, it gives to me a default user as EC2 user, and I have my computer ID here. So I already know that I have a user, okay? Password has been duplicated. I need a key. I need a key pair. I can create key pair. If you have created one on this drop down, you can find it. So we'll be creating a key. So I will call it, let me just call it Bastion key. So it's a .pem key. Okay, I'll be using some SSS client to connect to this stuff. I will not use PuTTY. If I was supposed to use PuTTY as an SSS client, I will go by PPK. So my key is Bastion host key, so it will end with that extension of .pem. When you create this key, it downloads into the downloads of your computer. So I have my key here and it has been downloaded into my computer. Okay, network setting. So for network setting, I'm allowing it as default for the Bastion host. So by default, I'm placing this stuff in a public subnet and I want to enable public, I want to auto assign public IP address. I'm enabling public IP address. So in real company, guys, because of sometimes most costs, we don't deploy everything, but we have what is known as the elastic IP on AWS. So companies, they will use an elastic IP. An elastic IP is a public IP address that you buy from AWS. When you buy that public IP address, you can now attach it to your instance while creating it. It will be internet facing. Reason being that when you launch an instance with a public IP address that is being provided to you by AWS, when you stop that instance, AWS gives that stuff back to another user, another buyer. Okay, for you to maintain your own, just your own, you have to buy it. And in AWS, it is known as elastic IP address. So I'm enabling, I just want AWS to give me one. I don't want to buy for now. I'm enabling public IP address because I needed to connect to this instance. And there is a door, security purpose. Okay, the security aspect of it, before you get into that house, you must pass through a door. So we have firewall, which is a security group. So this stuff will allow traffic either in and out of the instance that or your computer that you are buying from AWS. For you to connect, for you to go into that instance, there is a particular door known as that we call it port. Okay, we call it port. So it has been given some numbers. Port 22 by default is the port that allows you to go to connect to SSH into your computer. So that's the only door that I'm opening to that stuff. I'm allowing port 22, which is an SSH traffic from anywhere, okay, because engineers around the globe, they'll be connecting to the Bastion host and now they can get to their various work environment. That's the backend instances. Okay, I will not configure storage. 8 GB is okay by me, so I don't have anything to do with this. I will launch this instance. So I'll launch this instance. This is a Bastion host instance. Okay, this instance is up, but while the instance is initializing, let me quickly launch one instance, okay, at the back end for this demo. So I want to call it Maven. Okay, it's my Maven build environment, my Maven server. I want to launch it at back end. I'm using Amazon Linux too. I need just 1 GB, 1 CPU, G2 micro, 1 CPU, 1 GB is okay for this. The key pair, I've created Bastion key. Okay, now we don't want to, this is our build environment. We don't want to expose the build environment to hackers. We want to secure it. This is your responsibility when it comes to AWS. Now I want to place this stuff in my company VPC. So if we have a VPC, you click on this drop down and you select the company VPC. With the company VPC, you have public and private subnet. So by default, when it is no preference and it does not come with the IP address, AWS places this stuff automatically at the public, at the private subnet. So I want to disable public IP address to this build server. Okay, so SSH port is okay because I will pass through the Bastion host and SSH into that backend server. So that is the only port that will be allowed, the SSH port. So I'm allowing that port from anywhere. Let me launch the instance. Okay. Why this instance is coming up? If you have an SSH client, for example, if you have Git Bash, you have mobile extend, okay, because instance current will not work here. Now, what are we trying to do? Let me connect to this, to our Bastion host. Let me refresh. It's still initializing, but then let me pick up the public IP address. I want to connect to this stuff. If we check very well, if we go back to instances and check very well, okay, our Maven build server is also coming up. Let it initialize. We have our Bastion host. I have a public IP address. I pick up the public IP address. Don't forget, for you to connect to this stuff, you need a public IP address, a username, and a password, which is a private key. Okay, I'm using mobile extend as an SSH client to SSH into that computer. I want to connect to the computer. So remote host is your public IP address. I need a username. The username is EC2 user. That's my default username. I need a password, but I don't have a password. Did I create a key? Yes, we created a key. So you click on use private key. I want to locate that key in my computer. So I have something like a bastonkey.pem. This is it here. Open. So I'm trying to connect to the computer that I required or I bought from AWS. So let's just give it some time for it to connect. Oh, sorry, timed out. This could be a network issue. Let me relog again. Bastion host, public IP address. EC2 user. We have a key, bastonkey.pem. Wow. So let's try connecting. Let's try to see if network issue. What's the problem? Okay, guys. So there's a problem establishing that connection. Let me check my security. First thing first. SSH, are you there? Yes. Come. The user metadata. Metadata. Public IP address. There should be network downtime. Let's try connecting again, guys. Oh no. Oh, wow. Instances. Oh, Eric, there was a warning on this region. Did you go through that warning? Let me see. Guys, these days,
You can
as I
check.
earlier said, AWS
Yeah,
has
I
been
mean,
having a lot of, yeah.
yeah, this kind of things they usually happen. Sometimes you do it just now, it works. The next few minutes you're trying, it doesn't work.
Yeah, the problem is AWS is having a lot of updates. When I got into this United States, Ohio region, it gave me a warning, but I did not go through that warning. So let me change this region, guys. I'll quickly launch different stuff. Sometimes they have network downtime also. That's a network issue. So let's try North Virginia.
Should we just, excuse me, should we just follow up with our own AWS account, or you need to like give us an IAM role so that we can also
No, you
do
don't
it?
have to. The only thing you have to do, the only thing you will do is I will add you as a user in the system and you can connect to that instance, right?
Okay.
So you are now like an engineer that has been employed. Everybody on this call is, yeah, you guys are now like engineers that have been employed to a company. So they're trying to create a
Okay.
pathway for you to pass and get into your backend instances.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's no
So
need doing it on your end. Just watch when he's adding you as a user, you'll be able to then log in. So just watch for now.
yes.
Sure.
Let me use this region, Bastion host. Sometimes T2 micro. So let me use an existing key. I think we have created a key, but let me just use an existing key here. Enable public IP address is okay. Let me launch this instance. Hopefully this way it should connect and do not have any warning message on that. let's try connecting to this stuff. To populate here. Session. Is it to user? Locate my key. I think this time around is demo. Select key.them. Yes, I want to connect. Okay, guys, that region had a problem. So that's it. Sometimes you have issues like that. Yeah. So let me quickly name this instance. Let me rename this instance. Let me give it a name. Let me call it Bastion host. Okay. So sudo host name ctl. Host name ctl set hyphen host name. I'm calling it Bastion. Bastion host. Let me effect the changes /bin/bash. So we have our Bastion host. Let me clear it for you. So since we are connected to our Bastion host, let's launch an instance now at the back end. An instance, if you look here, we have a public, this instance has a public IP address. So let me quickly launch an instance here without the public IP address. Let me call it our Maven build instance. Amazon Linux 2 is the AMI. You can use Ubuntu, you can use Red Hat, guys. Just with Ubuntu or Mac OS and Windows, the package manager will change a bit. Okay, but Red Hat and Amazon with Debian Linux, they have the same package. Okay. So let me select this key, edit network settings. So I don't want this stuff to be placed. I don't want it to be internet facing or SSH into it. It's okay. Let me connect. Okay. So if you look at it, our backend instance does not have a public IP address, so you cannot connect to this instance, to this computer through the internet. You cannot connect to this stuff through the internet. So let us see how we can configure our Bastion host instance, our Bastion host server for password authentication, because I will not copy the private key to all the engineers' work environment. Okay, I will not send the private key to you. So, but then for you to connect now to the company, you need a username, which is your name, and you need a password. But then for this stuff, for you to access or to connect to this Bastion host server with relative ease, there is some configuration that need to be done on it. The first thing that we are going to do on it, we first of all have to authenticate the server for password authentication. We have to allow, because by default, it is duplicated. So we have to go and allow that door so that you can use your name and password as a user in the system to get into this system. Okay, so for us to do that, there is a file. We have to do some editing. We have to go into some files and do some editing. So let me quickly get into one of the files. The files are, let me sudo vi, so vi is text editor, into /etc/ssh/sshd_config So this is a configuration file where you will find the authentication part of it, where you can authenticate users. You can allow the server for password in such a way that users can now use their name and password to log into this stuff. So this is the file. Let me go into edit mode by pressing letter I on my keyboard. So I will search for password authentication. If you see here, password authentication by default is no. So I want engineers to connect to this server. Okay, for that to happen, I will edit this stuff. I want it to be yes. So people can use password, engineers can use password to connect to this instance. Okay, they can use password to connect to this instance. Equally, I can also edit permit empty key password, but I'll not do that. So let me save, and I click out of this. Whenever you edit this file, there is a single line command where you can run on the command line to do that stuff. But whenever you edit this file, you have to restart the SSHD service so that the changes will be reinforced. So you have to run the command sudo systemctl. You have to restart the SSHD service. So that has been done. We have done the first configuration. Now, what the admin will do, or if it is your task as a DevOps engineer, okay, to add users to the system. More often, most companies that have system administrator, Linux system administrator, they are the one doing this stuff. So this is a Linux system administrator job, they are the one doing this stuff. But as a DevOps engineer, you are a system admin. As a site reliability engineer, you are a system admin. As a build and release engineer, you are a system admin. As a AWS solution architect, you are a system admin. Before, system admin used to have a lot of job out there because they were the ones spinning instances for companies. But nowadays, every cloud engineer can spin instances. That's why the system admin role is becoming a little bit difficult when it comes to job positions. Okay, so we have configured our server for password authentication. The next thing, let us add some users. If you have an SSH client that you can connect to an instance as an engineer, please kindly send your name to me in the chat so that I will add you as a user in this system. If you have an SSH client, so with that, I will start by adding Prof. Eric. I will start by adding Prof. Eric into the system as an AWS DevOps engineer. Okay, Sam, I'll add Prof. Eric. Let me sudo vi. I want to vi into the user.sh. User.sh. I'm doing some sort of bash shell scripting here, guys. Don't freak out. So for best practices, let me go into insert mode. Okay, I got the links. For best practice, let me start this stuff with the shebang /bin/bash. So what I'm saying here is I want to use a script, a dynamic bash shell script to do this stuff. Echo enter let me just say the username, enter username. So I use the read command to read the user. So now I want to create account for that user. So the command to create account for users in Linux is the user add command, but then you cannot just create accounts for users like that as an ordinary user. So we have sudo user add. I want to call the variable that I'll pass. So it is $user. Only I want to create password for that user. So sudo, the command is pass wd, okay, $user. I'm good to go. This automation. Dynamic script. So Prof. Eric, I did this stuff as a root user. Okay, all the same. Let me message. I want to run this script. No. So VI is not supposed to be there. Enter. Unexpected token line 2. VI back into that stuff. I did not close.
There's a code there. You didn't close it?
I did not close it.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. So I want to add Eric in the system admin 123. Admin 123 is the password that I'm assigning to engineer Eric. So let me cat /etc pass wd, the file where when you add users, engineers to the system, their information is stored. So I have Eric as a user in the system. Equally, I created a password for Eric. Let me check if that was sudo cat /etc/shadow. Oh no, it should be slash, not dot. Shadow. So now the stuff. So guys, sorry about the interruption. So we can see that a password was assigned to Eric. Okay, a couple of you guys have sent to me your names. So let me add you. I created a dynamic script. Okay, so for Sam, I'm running the same script. Sudo sh, the name that I want is Sam. The password is Sam123. Sam123. So Sam, your password is Sam123. Okay, your password is Sam123.
And that should be all lowercase, Sam. To be specific, right?
Sorry?
Sam should be all lowercase.
Yes, your password is Sam123. I'm coming to that. Let me just add all the users in the system and then we move. We have Luisa. Let me rerun the script to add Luisa. We have Luisa, the password for Luisa. Let me just Luisa 123. Louisa123. So Louisa, your password is Louisa123. I have Aqua. So Aqua. I have Aqua. And the password is Aqua123. Aqua123. So Aqua, that's your password. I have Charles. Okay, let me rerun the script. So I have Charles. Charles. So Charles, your password is your password should be Charles123. Charles123. But that's your password. We have Daffy. Let me add Daffy in the system. Yeah, I think that's the name. So let me assign you Daffy 123. Daffy 123. Okay, so these are the users. Guys, all the names are lowercase letters, so don't start it with uppercase letters. We have assigned, we have some users in the system. So let me really clear my terminal for you guys. I want to ls/home and see if all the users were created. Yes, I have Aqua, Charles, Eric, Louisa, Sam, and Daffy. So these are your names. And I've assigned password to you guys. So if I sudo, let me sudo, I want to read that file. I want to read /etc shadows. The file that when we create you password for users, the passwords are stored. So we have all of your passwords created. Yeah. So now, if you have your mobile let me send to you the public IP address of my Bastion host called ifconfig.me. This is the public IP address of my Bastion host. So I'm sending that stuff in the chat. So you connect, all of you try connecting to this instance. You will use the public IP address, so you will SSH. The command that you will run, for example, if I am Eric, I could just run SSH. Okay, I will run SSH Eric at this public IP address. So that's how you connect. When you hit on enter, it will ask you to enter your password. When you enter your password, you will connect to this Bastion host. So let me watch a particular command here. Let me watch the who command. So Eric is connected already. Eric has successfully connected. Aqua has successfully connected. So guys, you should be connecting. Okay. I just ran a command watch who. So I'm watching who is connecting to the Bastion host. Let's connect, guys. As you are connecting, I'm seeing you. I see how you join.
Guys, in case you are facing any challenge, just don't allow us go without notifying.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prof.
Sure.
If let me see, I have Tafri, Charles, Louisa, Sam. If you guys are connecting, just put a 1 in the chat. Let me know that you guys are trying to do something, please. If you guys are struggling to connect, just put a 1 in the chat.
Yeah.
Let me know that you are doing some work. Okay. Charles is having some issues. Okay, Charles. Look at my screen. Let me press later Control C to key this process. So Charles, what you do if you have Git bash, you have mobile xtem. With mobile xtem, those of you who don't know, if you have mobile xtem, you click on session here, you click here, and then you enter your name, Charles. I said do not use uppercase letters. So you enter your name, Charles. Okay, no, sorry. You enter my public IP address. I think I pasted. This is my public IP address. And then here, you enter your name, Charles, because you are not Charles who is trying to connect to this stuff. So when you enter Charles, you click on enter. Okay, it will try connecting, but it will ask you of your password. So you see now, it's asking me of your password. So it asks of your password. Now your password is Charles123. If you enter Charles123, when you enter, you don't see the password, enter, it is not struggling to connect you to the Bastion host. Do you want to save this password? Yes, you can. Yes. Okay. Cancel, I don't need this stuff. So you're struggling to connect you. Are you seeing? So you are connected now as Charles. Okay, this is Charles. Charles is connected. If I now come back to my instance, if I watch who, I will see that Charles is connected to the instance. Charles has been connected. And this is the time that you connect to this stuff. Okay. I can equally see if all of you, we have Eric, Aqua, Sam, Charles, you guys are connected. I can equally check if you are doing some work or not. Yeah, so let me, if you want to do that at your end, let me get out of this stuff. Okay, I can see that Taffy is now connected. Okay, good. Taffy is now connected. So everybody is connected. Now that you are connected to this instance, this is the only instance, this is the pathway that we usually pass to get to our backend instances. Our backend instance does not have a public IP address. So look at what the admin will do. The admin will go to his or her work environment. I will use Git bash for this purpose. So there are so many ways to do this stuff. So he will go to his or her work computer. Okay. So this is what they do. So see the intro. Let me see I want to go into download because the key, I was the one who created that key and it got downloaded into my work computer in the download of my work computer. I need that key. Engineers need that key to connect to back-end instances. They are now in the Bastion host. So what I'll do here, I'll pick up my public IP address of my Bastion host. Okay, so I have my Bastion host running. This is my Bastion host. Let me get back to Git Bash. I want to copy the key that was downloaded. That key is, I think it was demoserverkey.pem. Let me see the key that we are using. Yes, demoserverkey.pem. So I want to copy this key to the Bastion host so that engineers can use it and connect to all the backend instances. This is serious security. Nobody can get into any backend instance without having that key. Without, they don't have public IP, you don't have to have the private IP address and that key. So I will run a secure copy command, securely copy in interactive mode. So I said, I want to authenticate myself with the key that I have. So the key is demoserverkey.pem. Okay, it's demoserverkey.pem. But before I run this stuff, let me pick up my relative path. So PWG, where am I working? So I'm working here. I can recall back this command and I remove the comment sign. So I want to authenticate myself with this key. Okay, and I want to copy from this path. From this path. Copy, paste. There is a demo-serverkey.pem. I want to copy this key. Who am I? I am EC2 user. I want to copy this key to this IP address, to this public IP address. I want to copy this key to this IP address. Okay, I want to copy it. I want to copy it in the home. Let it go in the home/home/EC2 user. Enter. Yes, I want to copy that key. Enter. So it has copied the key. This is the job of the admin. I've just copied the key from my workstation to the server in the cloud. Because when I created this stuff as the admin or a task that was given to me, the key is in my private download in my workstation. But other engineers around the globe, all over the world, from US, India, Angola, Nigeria, Cameroon, they want to use this key. How do I pass this key to them? I have just successfully copied the key from my download to our server. If I now come back in our server, this is our Bastion host server. I did not create any file. So I did not create any file. Let me check if I copied the key. The key is demoserverkey.pem, list directories and files. I have a demoserverkey.pem that I have successfully copied from my work environment to the server. Now, engineers need to start using this stuff to connect to back-end instances. Can they use it? Yes. So I said most of the time this was a system admin rule. You have to pass this key. It is a credential that the user needs, the engineer needs to get to the work environment at the back end. So you have to pass this key to the environment. Okay, I can pass this key, I can copy this key. So I will still run another copy command. So I will copy this key. So not for me to fall into issues, I like to pass sudo. I will copy this key. So where am I copying this key from? I have a demo server key in my work environment. I have a demo server key in my work environment as the admin. I have a user, I have an engineer in the system, Eric, and Eric needs to go at the back end instances to do some work. So I want to copy this key to the home of Eric so that Eric can use this key and log to back end instances. So I will say I want to copy this key to the home of Eric. To the home of Eric. Enter. So it has been done. If Eric, because right now I cannot, if I ls, I cannot go to Eric environment and start like checking files and stuff there. If I'm doing that now, I'm doing that because I am EC2 user and I have the permission, I have the super privilege to do that stuff. So I can check, I can sudo. When I pass sudo, it's because I want to run the command as a root user. ls, I want to check the home of Eric if that file was copied with relative is. So sorry, it should be Eric. Enter. Yes. So Prof. Eric, can you check at the end and confirm? Because I can see that I did a good job.
Okay.
Right? Okay. Those of you who are connected, let me ls/home. ls/home. This is the command. So copy to the home of Eric. I can copy to the home of, let me copy to the home of Aqua. Aqua check, you will see. Let me copy to the home of Luisa. Luisa, if you check, you'll see. Let me copy to the home of Sam. Sam, if you check, you'll see. And let me copy to the home of Daphne. So equally, Daphne, if you check, if you do ls, you'll see that key. Since all of us now have that key, can we connect? All of you are in this host. All of us are connected here. Yeah. Let me run the W command. So all of us are connected, but so far so good. I think I'm the only one doing something. All of you have been idle. Okay, so Daffy just did something 2 seconds ago. So he checked, he run the bash command ls.
Yeah.
So in the system, when you are idle, guys, this is where the CEO just run this command and see if you are doing something we are not working. So all of us are connected. Now, we are in the Bastion host. We need to connect to our backend instances. I will be doing it as EC2 user, and you guys will be doing it at your own end. So we run a command. We want to copy, want to SSH in interactive mode -I. Okay, you pass the key that is in your download, the demo server key. And who are you? Okay, you are EC2 user. Somebody's saying something here.
Okay, I think Deborah, I think
I don't know if I added you to the system. What was the name that you provide for me to add in the system?
She didn't provide any name yet.
Yes,
she didn't
Prof,
provide any name.
Under that, I don't know if there was a name that I don't know. I did not add you to the system, so you give your name that you wish for me to add you to that system, so you can connect to this system. So you run SSH. So quickly send the name to me. Okay, you are trying to connect to mobile via mobile XTEM. Can you unmute yourself, please? Let me get to know before we continue.
Hello, hello.
Yes, I can get you, please.
Yeah, I'm trying to connect via mobile XM and it's requesting that I input
Okay.
the password.
Among the names that I have here, do you have your name here?
No.
Okay, if you are not a user in this system, you cannot connect to this system.
Oh, I see.
For example, if you are not working with a company, you cannot sit at home and connect to that company's account, right?
Yes.
Or that company's server. Yeah, so you cannot connect to this company server. I was supposed to add you. I asked that everybody that wants to do the hands-on should. Okay, let me quickly add you as a user, but you have a long way to go right now. You do that very fast. So I will add you as a user. Let me run this script. I have that script as created as sudo sh user.sh. So I will just add Dora. Okay, so that is you. Your username is Dora, and your password will be Dora.
Okay.
Just Dora 123. Dora 123. So that's your password.
All right.
So if you have the public IP address, you can connect now to the Bastion host. Okay. So now I was trying to illustrate how you will now connect from the Bastion host to your backend instances. Let me send to you the private IP address of the backend instance, because that instance does not have a public IP address. This is our Maven build environment. Nobody should come in here and start seeing things that we are doing. You don't have that right, and nobody can ever come into this stuff without what we are doing. So let me share this public IP address private. We have the private IP address of our Bastion host, of our backend server, our Maven build server. We want to use the Bastion host to connect to that stuff. So we'll run the command SSH -I in interactive mode. You authenticate yourself with the key. Okay, so I want to authenticate myself with this key. Okay, and who are you? I am EC2. I am EC2 user. I am EC2 user, and the IP, and this is my private IP. I want to connect, I want to SSH to this instance that has this private IP address. I want to connect SSH, and I'm authenticating myself with this key to this. Okay, so this is Bastion host. When we connect to this stuff, you know, we'll find Bastion host. Enter. Yes, I want to connect. Enter. Permission denied. So, permission denied. Okay, for sure. Permission is denied. So when you get an error message, you make sure you go through the error message, because as an engineer, you will always face problems, but you are there to fix the problem that other engineers face and your own problems. So we have a message. It is telling me that permission 0444 for demo server keys are too open. My key is so open, so hackers can easily hack my key and come into my instance. It's asking me to secure that key. Let it not be publicly viewable. So the key has read access across the key. 0444 means everybody can read that key, which is not good. So it is asking me to secure that key. How do I secure this key? For me to secure this key, let me clear my terminal for you guys. For me to secure this key, I will run the command. So I will run the command sudo show mode 400. Sudo show mode 400. I want to secure this key so that it should not be publicly viewable. What I have just done, I've changed the permission. Only the owner of this key, only the owner of this key can read the key. Nobody in this system or in this company can read that key. So enter. That has been done. Let me try to connect to that instance. Okay, let me try to SSH into the backend instance, our backend, our build environment. Enter. So as we can see, I am now connected to the backend server. I am connected to the backend server. This is the private IP address. I've used the private IP address through the jump server to connect to the backend server. I can now deploy my application in this backend server. But now, if we deploy application right now in this, but I said AWS is doing some sort of update. If we deploy an application in this server right now, we need to, if it doesn't work, it's because some packages, they are not being downloaded. So in this backend server, let me just try to see if it works. It has not been working. There's a lot of update. Sudo yum install Docker. I want to ignore Linux case sensitivity. So you see that there is an update. AWS is updating packages. So these instances, they have a latency issue. It is telling me Amazon Linux 2023 repository. So it will just keep on doing like this. It will not download this package. So that's why we could not deploy our application today using Ansible and Docker, all the instances on AWS. So I tried even Ubuntu, Red Hat, everything is like this. So they are working on it. And let me Control C. I've keyed the process. Okay. So we have seen how in real life engineers usually connect, okay, to the work environment when it comes to companies. Other companies might have a different system where they'll use a different application. But then when you are using that application, you log onto the work computer, the company's work computer, and you are working inside. So they have their documentation, everything. If you want to edit, you don't work, your workstation is there just to permit you come into that system and then you work there. But if it's a company, it's a very broad company, a big company, okay, they will have bastion hosts because they have a lot of engineers. So you pass through the bastion host to get to the back-end instances. Now I'm in the back-end instance. I can change it to the Maven bin by running the hostname CTL, set hostname command. So I'll set the hostname of this stuff. So for me to go back to our bastion host after I'm done working, okay, after I'm done doing the task that was given to me at the back end, I just exit and I'll come back to my bastion host instance. Yes, you guys can, those who are on this back end, I've sent the private IP address in the chat. Yeah. So you can connect to this back end instance because you are already in the bastion host. If you use the key, if you run the same command, SSH, you run the same SSH command, you pass the key, okay, EC2 user at that host, you connect to that instance. Okay, usually there's a lot of configuration. Let me go inside. So if you don't connect to that instance, don't forget, I know why. The reason is that in this instance, everything that I did configuring, adding all of you as users in the Bastion host and assigning password for you, I'm supposed to do the same thing in this instance so that you can connect to it. So let me select, yes. So
I was able to connect to the instance.
Okay, you were able to connect, right?
I was able to connect.
So did you use EC2, the user, or did you use EC2 or use Aqua here?
No, I use EC2 because you said you have not given us the, so I use EC2.
Yes. If you use EC2, you will connect.
If I use Aqua,
okay. If you use EC2, you'll connect. Because that key is owned by EC2. So what I'm supposed to do to you, Sammy, I'm supposed to, let me exit. So if you want to connect as Sammy, what I'm supposed to do to you, if I ls, let me sudo and come to you. I want to check the file that I ls hyphen lrs, the home of Sammy, /home/sam. So you will see that that key is owned by the root user. If you are trying to connect to that stuff as Sam, it will not work. But if I assign you permission, if I convert this key, so if I change this key, I grant you permission to own this key. In real life, I'm supposed to grant you permission to own this key. So I will say sudo show mode. Sudo show mode. I want to change the mode. I want to change owner, not mode. Sudo show own. I want to change owner of a particular file to Sam, and Sam equally is the group owner of that file. And the file is in the home of Sam. In the home of Sam, there is a demo server key.pem there. I want to change / this key. So I want to change the permission. I want to change the ownership of this stuff to Sam. Enter. So that has been done. If I now, there's a lot of redundancy network issue. So if I check Sam, you see now that Sam as a user, you own this stuff. So if I add you now as a user if I add you as a user, okay, let me connect to the backend instance. This is a project, so we do it to completion. Sam is working with me. So I want to connect to my backend instance. Now in the backend instance, what I will do is, I want to add Sam as a user in the build environment because Sam is coming there to do some work. So after adding Sam, I want to assign password to Sam. So I want to assign password to Sam. So the password that I assigned was Sam123, Sam123. So Sam, if you run this command on your terminal, SSH-I demo server key.pem, The network's a little bit. So demo server key.pem. Now you are Sam and you want to connect to this, you are Sam and you want to connect to this address, you'll be able to connect to that backend instance. So definitely this is exactly what companies will do. This is exactly how you create a bastion host. You add users, engineers, okay? If you are given a task to allow a particular engineer to go to a particular backend server to do some work, this is how you assign it. And that engineer through the bastion host can successfully connect to that server and accomplish the task and now go out of the server. Okay, so while Sam is struggling to connect, Prof. Eric, I think we can take some questions.
All right, great, guys. I want to know how was it, guys? Let me get your feedback before we get to the questions. Just share experience. How do you see it? In case anyone is speaking, know that you're muted. Just unmute yourself. Just share experience. Let me know if you got the whole idea, or let us know. Okay, Tafria, yeah. Say it was fun.
You connect also as easy to use and very correct. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Oh, Deborah says she feels
So
lost.
if you try connecting all of
Okay.
you,
All right. So
since I am in that instance, yeah, Prof. Eric, you can go ahead, please. I just want to watch how the engineers are connecting to the bastion host.
Great. All right. So Deborah says she feels lost. Deborah, don't worry. This is just the first part of the project, right? So just stay around. The second part of it is coming up in the next few weeks. Okay. So we are going to carry you all along, and you will not be lost. You'll be found. Okay. Yeah, it's just quite easy. And when we start the second part of it, we will have a recap of this first session so that you can catch up. Okay. Yeah. Great. Yes, Aqua. Yeah, hands-on is good.
Okay.
Awesome.
So
Clarinda.
let's get the feedback coming, Prof. Eric. I love the feedback. And guys, don't leave the call. Prof. Eric, we did not take a photograph of all the engineers that attended.
Exactly. Let's get our team members, right? These are our colleagues. I mean, you are just there as the admin, and then you're working together on the project.
Yeah, you see that you did not create any instance, so you are working with the company server. So that's how you don't create the instance, you just work in it. So we successfully connected to that stuff and we have been working in it. So let me get the feedbacks coming. I can see Lucky. That was an
okay. Yeah, Lucky joins. So guys, just if you can come off camera so that we take a screenshot so that we know those who are here for the first part, right? For the second part that's coming up, is going to be mind-blowing. We are going to be deploying
the second part
application
of it,
right away.
That would be that would be mind-blowing. So that second part will take like 2 hours straight. Like you guys will be there like, wow, this is great.
Exactly.
Because I will not take any shortcut. Just deploy it as done.
Great. Just come off camera.
I can see my good friend Sam Mukete. Wow.
Right. Let's have this screenshot.
Deborah, where are you joining from? Equally,
from Nigeria.
That's great. Awesome. Equally, guys, I sent my LinkedIn page, so you can connect with me on LinkedIn. Right? We start from there.
Exactly.
There are a lot of insight when it comes to SolarWiz technology. Okay.
Guys, just share your LinkedIn page on the comment section. Let me take the last one. Okay. I just hope I can take as many as I can so that at least one should be good. Okay. Okay, great. Guys, it's been amazing. Just drop your LinkedIn pages on the chat so that we can all connect, right? So that when we post upcoming projects, you shouldn't miss them. Let me just drop mine right away. Drop your LinkedIn pages. Let's all connect. Okay, this is mine. Guys, drop your LinkedIn pages. And then before we go, guys, next week we are starting our new cohort, right? For a complete entire AWS and DevOps package stack, right? It's going to be running for 6 to 8 months, so that you saw how Prof. Emmanuel was running those commands, right? Writing all those scripts, bash scripts, and all of that. It's a bit challenging and complicating. You will feel lost, right? What kind of magic is this? How is he doing it? Right? Yes. So that's how we do it at Solavis Tech. If you want to know how to run those scripts, like to write those scripts, you can join us next week as we start the session. So it's going to be very intensive, 6 to 8 weeks of training, like deep dive training on AWS and DevOps, complete package. All the little bit of things that you're hearing here, you're going to get an in-depth of them, right? Yes, and also on the call here, we have some of our students. And one thing I like about them is that they always come back to learn, to keep learning and growing. So on this field, you need to keep learning every day. You need to learn every day. You see how we're talking about the recent update that AWS is doing? If you're not learning every day, you won't know. Right? You won't know. Maybe if you're
equally, yes, Prof. Eric,
yeah.
Before we shut down, I think we have a very great mind. I'm talking of no other person but our boss, the vision bearer, Dr. Samba on the call. Can you please
Okay.
come on, camera, Doc? Yeah. So you are muted. You are muted. So you can come. You can.
Hey guys, what's happening? Can you all hear me?
We can hear you
Sure,
one on one. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you so much. Our great engineers in the house. I can see we have Eric, we have Emmanuel. I can see guys, 1 second, please. Let me record here. I'll be back right soon.
Yes. Okay. Before Doc comes back, like I was saying, next week we are starting an intensive 6 to 8 months training program. Right? When I say intensive, it's going to be intensive. It's going to change you, like change the kind of person you are, both maybe physically, mentally, and in every way that you can imagine, maybe spiritually, right? So if you have a friend who wants to get into cloud, if you have a friend who wants to be running all these scripts, if you have someone, who wants to be like Prof. Emmanuel tomorrow, right? Guys, just share the message to them. Share the message to them. The program is starting next week, Monday. And like I said, it's going to be intensive. If you yourself, you are here, if you want to join us, please, you can reach out to me. You can reach out to Prof. Emmanuel or to Dr. Samba, and we'll get you enrolled, right? We'll get you enrolled. So guys, I don't know if there's any other comment from anyone from what we've done here. Any feedback? Before Dr. Samba is joining us back. Maybe Aqua, do you have anything to say? Maybe people would like to hear from you, right? You've been here with us for getting now. Right.
Yeah, it has been a great journey in Solavis Tech. I think from the hands-on, you can see what Prof. Emma is doing. Tanga is doing a great job. We have been getting his vibes all the time. He's so explicit. I think he will come next time. He will still recall what he did, and I think it's a great deal. So I really encourage people that are not on this community to join and be part of it. There's a lot to learn, and we'll keep learning. Thank you.
Great. Okay, Doc is back.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. I think I'm back right now. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello, Eric, can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. I see we have Eric, we have Emmanuel, we have I can see Kevin is here. Kevin succeeded to make it after a hectic 2 weeks. I see we have Ahmed, we have Akong Nixon, we have Aqua, Charles from the US. Good to have you. Deborah, Clarinda. Hey, Felix, good to have you. Awesome. Gaspar is here. Luisa is here. Hey, Luisa, long time. Good to have you, Samuel and Catherine. So, this is Saturday. You would have been doing something else, but you decided to make out this time for your own growth journey. For those who are hearing me for the first time, my name is Samba Otavis. I'm a medical doctor who ran away from the hospital to get into IT. And I'm excited that other crazy minds like Eric, Kevin, Emmanuel decided to join me on this journey for us to help people leverage technology to improve their lives. So that's just what we do here at SolarVis Tech. Our motto is empowering you for a digital world. It doesn't matter where you find yourself, but then if you can integrate technology in whatever you do, then your life would never be the same again. I know you've had a great time here with Eric and Emmanuel doing real hands-on work. And for those who have not yet started this journey, we want to encourage you next week. We're going to be going on another amazing 6 months of deep dive work. I know Aqua must have given you guys a bit of what it takes or a bit of the atmosphere in here, right? We are super excited. So you don't want to go on this journey alone. That's what I tell everybody. I started this journey alone, but today we've been able to impact more than 1,000 lives. And let me shock somebody on this call. Guess what? When I was about to get into the space, I only heard about the opportunity 2 weeks to my training, right? It's a bit about my journey. Just 2 weeks into the boot camp. You know, my cousin in the US, I noticed that she was always available because of COVID-19. She was working from home. So she told me she was working from home in the US. I said, but what's this work from home thing? She says she's a cloud DevOps engineer. But I know she left Cameroon as a nurse, but she told me she was a DevOps engineer. So I went on her LinkedIn profile. I was seeing some kind of things, Terraform, Ansible, Python. I said, but what are these things? We all studied anatomy, physiology, but I now see other interesting things. And she told me she was earning 150,000 US dollars working from home. I said, you know what? I want to do this thing. I never knew how. I had no orientation, but I was just hungry and curious. Please, if you can hear me, just write in the chat, curious. Just drop a curious in the chat, please. Just drop in the chat curious. Drop in the chat curious, please. Just drop in the chat curious. Just drop curious in the chat if you can hear me. Just drop curious. Just drop it, curious. Yeah, drop curious. Those who change the world and change their stories are those who are curious. Thank you, guys. Are those who are curious. How would I go to medical school and I'm trained for 7 years? I have a family, by the grace of God, I have 2 sons in Africa. I abandoned that work and I say I'm getting to IT. It's just curiosity, you know? And we are not giving you any guarantee. I'll tell this to everybody. We are not giving you any guarantee that you're going to get a job, your life is going to get better taking this program or going through this journey. But you know what? Can you just be curious for the next 2 years? Can you just be curious? This program we say is 6 months, but can you just be curious for the next 1 year? Give yourself 1 year. Where you are right now in your life, it has taken you at least 18, 20 years to be where you are. For some people, even 30 years. But can you now decide to just be curious for the next 2 years of your life and see what change it can bring for you? We are not giving you any guarantee. But there is something we can assure you here at SolarVis Tech, that even if you are the only one, we will hold your hands all through this journey for at least 1 year together. But the community we are building, we are going to be supporting each other along the way. All right? So I want to challenge somebody today. If you have already registered for our program, if you have registered, don't sleep today without picking up your phone. Don't send a text message, please. Pick up the phone and call. Call at least 2 to 3 to 5 people before Monday. Share with them to join you on this journey. I have people on this call who actually followed me up on LinkedIn. I don't want to call their names, they know themselves. They follow me up on LinkedIn for like 6 months before believing to pay for our trainings. That's how curious they were and how confident they were in what they saw we were building. So can you, with that same conviction, pick up the phone and call someone and encourage someone? Because you never can tell what can happen in that person's life in the next 5 years. The person, where my life is today, the person who shared this opportunity with me every single day looks at me and tells me, I am happy I shared this information with you. Right? So, can you look at yourself 5 years down the line? That somebody will reach out to you and say, thank you, you impacted my life with that information you shared. But the only thing that can happen negative is that they say no to the opportunity. But even if they say no, it changes nothing, right? You have played your part by sharing this information to them. So I want to encourage us once again to say, you know what? There is no end to this journey. For those who've already been on it, we have to constantly learn. And it's going to cost you 3 things. You can write them down. It will cost you time. It will cost you energy. It will cost you money. Many people have found the space, want it completely free. You're not going to get those expert insights in the industry if you don't continuously, consciously invest time, energy, and money into your own training. And for many others, it will cost you friends. Because for the next 6 months to 1 year of your life, you are going to be abnormal. I know people on this call in the US that have actually changed their work schedule just because they want to attend this program. They have called their bosses and said, please, for the next 6 months, I want to change my timing. I'm going to be at work. Can you call a friend to make such a sacrifice? Because for you to get what you've never had, you must start doing what you've never done before. And don't look at the number. I tell people this, don't look at the number. Don't look at the number. Don't look at the number. Look at yourself as a person. What will you tell your future self like in the next 2 years if you say no to this opportunity? Ladies and gentlemen, I look forward to having you on this journey. For those who are on this journey already, thank you so much for believing the dream. And thank you so much for saying yes to SolarVistec. We're going to be having many more free workshops down the line. Many more free workshops. I want to assure you, hey, just to let you know, Emmanuel, who was one of the facilitators of this program, joined SolarVistec because of one of our free workshops. Kevin here, our CTO, in fact, all these workshops going forward is the brain behind it is Emmanuel, head of our technical project. Kevin, our CTO from Kenya, joined SolarVistec because he was attending our Saturday workshops. And guess what? I never asked for any complex CV from anybody. I saw how they were contributing and I reached out to them. I said, let's talk. I saw the value they bring and then they joined our team. So that's it. What we're doing here is we are disrupting the traditional way in which things are being done. If you know how to sell yourself, if you know how to penetrate communities, then you will consistently attract opportunities towards you. Please, we are doing something great here. We're going somewhere really great, but we don't want to go just by ourselves. We want to take you along. See you at the top. My name is Dr. Samba Otavis, and I'm super excited to have you all on this journey. Over back to our amazing hosts, Eric and Emmanuel. Bye.
Thank you very much for the insight, Doc. Thank you very much. We are equally excited to have met with you. So thank you very much. Eric, over to you. Kevin, we did not get any feedback again from you. You can still come up. I know sometimes you work until you just like, wow, wish you have 1,000 screen in front of you. Could you mute this? You mute this one and you chat this way. So please come out some insight.
You want me to cover what, Prof? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, so I think what I can, let me see if I can do my video. Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. What I can, there's nothing you can add after your CEO has already said something. The only thing you can do is your personal, like, call upon, because trust me, when I hear, anytime I hear our CEO and our vision bearer, Dr. Samba, talk to us, I feel like I'm hearing him for the very first time. And the reason why I say that is, as he has mentioned something very important that I was even contemplating about. As we get older, you know, when you are young, we are very curious. You would touch something just to get to know whether it's going to, then you're always being told if you touch that, it's going to hurt you, it's hot, or this, and you're very like you. Then as we get older, it kind of fades away. And as it fades away, we get into kind of a familiarity. And even as I was having a short mentorship session with a certain gentleman who we met at a hub here in Nairobi. And early this morning, I met him. Then he asked me a question on WhatsApp, and I told him I think it's better we do a short session, and I did it with him. And I was telling him he's doing some AWS program, and he was talking about he's on a solutions architect path. Or how will he get into a cloud engineering path? And we had a number of what discussion points. For example, the resources and the importance of solutions architecture, even in the whole kind of thing. I love the way how we do it at SolarBase Tech. We don't just jump into the console, like the way Prof started, and someone else would have said, when are we getting to get our hands dirty? But building perspective before you get into the console is very important. And that is how whatever you're getting at the workshop is now like level 0 of what you get in the program. And trust me, for all the people, even the ones that I actually recommend and I tell them, please join our program here in Kenya, they come back and tell me, Kevin, I've never seen a program like that. And same case for you, you're better off when you have more and more people around you. That is why I call upon you, not just to do this, don't do this journey alone. Don't try to say you're going to shock your village people. No, don't do that. You start shocking them very now and bring them on board, and that is how I can say. And please, as Dr. Samba said, stay curious. If you stay curious, that is the only way you can become a lifelong learner. If you stay curious, that is when you can follow up with Professor Tanga after this call and say, how did you able to do this? How are you able to watch those people who are logging in on the bastion? Those are some of the things that really matter. You might think it's small, but trust me, if you stay curious, it will be awesome. I actually didn't even know I was actually scrolling through my Slack for the community builder. Then I saw I was tagged, just to realize that one story that I put, a very authentic story, on a form, was featured. I was featured among the very few, like there are so many community builders, but very few who are featured as those whose voices are being highlighted or spotlighted as part of the AWS Community Builders 5th anniversary. What does that tell you is that everyone has a story, and you're making a story right now. And trust me, your story is unique to you. Kevin has his story, Professor Tang has his story, Eric has his story, Dr. Samba has his story. Deborah, you have your story. Everyone here has a story, and it is unique to you. Trust me, there's no way that yours can. The way we usually say everyone is beautiful in their own way, your story is also beautiful as you choose to make it, and curiosity will play a part. I think that is what I can add. Stay curious, and please walk this journey. We are ready to walk this journey with you every step of the way. Yeah, back to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Eric, take over your floor, man.
Okay, guys, I'm not taking over any floor again. I think it's been an amazing session. The only thing I can say now is time for action. That is what is going to separate, it's going to differentiate from who you were yesterday and who you were going to be tomorrow. Right? It's only action, action, action. So guys, it's been an amazing session. Thanks for being here. Hope to see you again when we will see you. So bye for now.
Bye-bye, guys. Bye. See you after 2 weeks.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.